Thank you for taking the time to join. Babies don't come into the world speaking and understanding language, but they learn from their first teachers, their parents and other caregivers. First, they listen to people as they talk to the children, and then the babies start attaching meaning to the words, and finally they start imitating the language, imitating the words to get their own needs met. In fact, I think just about everyone can remember a toddler who found the famous word no and would respond with that answer to just about anything you would ask them. In fact, you can even ask them if they would like some ice cream, and you will get a loud no before they reconsider the meaning of the word. Children learn to read the same way. They observe the adults around them, reading to meet their own needs and reading to them. And when they see that happen, they begin to want to read for themselves. And as they start that process, there are some ways that you can help them, to support them, to give them the skills and give them encouragement. We decided to make this tape to give parents a way of helping to see what we do at school, a way they can learn to some of the same strategies that we use so that they can use them at home. We believe this consistency of effort, both at home and at school, will give our children the best start possible into the magic world of reading. Thank you for taking the time to watch.
Before you read, number 1, get excited and smile. 2, ask, have you read this story? Read the title to your child. Yes, what is the story about? What was your favorite part? No, what do you think this story is about? Why? Number 3, review. Look at the whole story and any unusual language in the story. Number 4, ask, do you want me to read this story to you? Echo read it, Choral read it, or do you want to read it to me?
When a star is white, it is very bright.
When a star is white, it is very bright.
When a star is yellow, it starts to mellow.
When a star is yellow, it starts to mellow.
Where she worked as a receptionist. Daddy, will you have a few home?
Anything, one of the men said. It is strange, the other man answered. The burglars only disturbed the coin collection. They didn't even bother.
And the tree was very happy. What did he write on there? Me and T. Who's the T stand for? Tree.
Here are examples of different ways you can read to your child at home. Echo reading. You point to the word in the sentence while reading the sentence to your child. The child then points, with your help if needed, and echoes the sentence back to you. Choral reading. When the story seems very familiar, you both may read the story together as your child points to the words. Independent reading. When the child is comfortable, he or she can read the story to you by himself or herself. Or the child may choose for you to read the story to them.
The farmer ran fast, but the wind went faster. So the farmer had to look for it. He looked and...
I like the way you used lots of parts of our hand today already. Many times you stopped and you checked yourself to see if it made sense because it didn't sound right to you. A couple times I noticed that you used chunks. You knew the sound at, the word at, and you worked that into your word.
And there's that too.
That's right.
These are the 5 things good readers do when they meet a tricky word. 1, they think about the story. 2, they check the picture. 3, they decide what you can try. 4, they look for chunks, blends, and rhymes, and parts of the words they know. And 5, they ask themselves, does that make sense?
At unknown words, say, look at the picture, reread the sentence and try to get it. Check the first letter. What sound does it say? Think about the story and what would make sense. Try to say more than the beginning letter. Look for chunks or parts you know. Do you know another word that looks like part of this word? For example, in reading, what part of look could help you read book? Think about what word would look right, sound right, and make sense. Skip the word and read on. Then go back to see if you can figure the word out.
Tips and prompts for the listener. Wait, allow 5 to 10 seconds for discovery time. When the reader is having difficulty, try items in number 2. Not all errors need to be corrected, but if an error changes the meaning of a sentence, say, try that again.
And I will never. The frog. I never will.
Good work. I really like the way you're using the story to help you figure out the tricky words. Now, let's tell what the story's about. You enjoyed this one, right? Let's tell what the story's about.
Rabbits live in holes. Little bear was underground. In the first chapter. Mother bear under the ground. A hat and then a coat. They like snow pants.
All finished? Okay, let's close our book. Can you tell me the title to the story?
The Brown and Town Musicians.
In your own words, can you tell me all about the story? Remember about the beginning, the middle, and the ending of the story. Can you do that for me?
First, there was a donkey, and he was listening to his master say that I will feed that donkey because he's too old to work. And so
who is Sludge? You mentioned Sludge. Sydney?
He's a dog that belongs to Nate the Gray.
All right, so it's his pet dog. Now, in this story about the boring beach bag, why do you think the beach bag was called boring?
Because it was black and blue and I remember.
Okay. Does Sludge talk in the story? No? So that's good. Who was your favorite character, Sydney?
Nate the Gray.
Why?
After reading with your child, make sure to praise them. Also, reinforce any specific problem-solving behaviors you observed. You could say, I liked the way you checked the picture when you got to that tricky word. Or, I saw you go back and reread when you got stuck. That's what a good reader does. You could also say, I heard you try to say that first sound. I'm glad you were really looking at that word. Make sure you talk about the book that you just shared with your child. Ask your child if he or she has ever had a similar experience or what they would do if they were the main character in the story. And finally, ask your child to retell the story in their own words.
Errors allow children to think and practice problem solving. Mistakes are good building blocks for learning and advancement. Good readers should check, stop, and notice that they have made an error. They should also make sure the words they say make sense, sound correct, and look correct. At the kindergarten level, we have an intensive screening program where students are identified for possible intervention in the Kids or Kids Plus programs. In the first grade, we have our Reading Express program, in which the classroom teacher and a reading specialist partner together to teach reading every day in the classroom setting. First grade also has Reading Recovery, available for students who qualify to work one-on-one with a reading recovery trained teacher for 30 minutes every day for up to 20 weeks. In the 2nd through 5th grades, we have small group pull-out programs in which a reading specialist works with students who need additional help with reading strategies. We also have CCC and are piloting a program called Fast Forward. These are computer programs used to help students who may need additional support in reading.
It seems very appropriate for us to be taping this segment of the video today at the 4th grade building, where the 4th grade guarantee is very much a part of the concentration we've had in reading. If you're not aware, the 4th grade guarantee is a new requirement that the state legislature and the Department of Education have put on all school districts to have all students, by the time they finish the 4th grade, to pass a test, a proficiency test, that would demonstrate that they were reading at grade level by 4th grade. We have been both bothered and excited about this challenge. We are bothered by the fact that the fourth grade guarantee would say to the students that if you're not reading at that level, that you're going to be automatically retained or kept in the fourth grade. And that is, from my perspective, not something that is really putting the responsibility where it belongs, that being on the student. The responsibility rests with the school system and with the adults that are there to help the students gain that reading ability and to read proficiently at the fourth grade level. The challenge, as I said before, that has excited us is that we have started to look at ways that we really can improve students' reading ability. And many of the programs that you've seen on this videotape, many of the things that you've heard about, have been taking place in this school district for 2 years. And we still have 2 more years before the fourth grade guarantee kicks in. So we're glad to know that those activities that we are using at this time, and many of them which started during the school year, are going so well. And we're seeing a lot of positive results. We're not seeing those results just from people's observations. We're actually seeing them because we're doing our own set of testing, our own set of looking at the results while those activities are being initiated. And when they are successful, we plan to build on that and to do even more. The key to our efforts over the last 2 years has been prevention. We want to catch students very early in their school career, when they're just starting out, like in first grade and taking a full day of classes, when we have the time to focus on the needs of the student, particularly in this case with their reading, that we can do the kind of work that is going to benefit them throughout their entire school career. I'd like to take a moment to thank the people that have really made this effort possible, and that's the staff that we have. These are people that are very dedicated to finding ways to really make a difference in the lives of children. And it has been an effort that is not taken lightly. There are many hours spent beyond the regular school day to make this happen. Time that is spent in meetings, on teachers' own times, on administrators' time to get everything organized and put together. And we've just had an extraordinary effort in that on their part, and we're seeing the results from that. So I would like to thank them. And then I'd also like to thank the parents who have been so receptive to the efforts and have worked cooperatively with the school. And it is that partnership between the home and the school that will make the biggest difference, that will have the greatest impact for these young people. To all of you, I say thanks, and let's continue in our efforts to provide the best possible programs that we can for Loveland students.